So in this video, I'm discussing the sell by weight situations and also the use cases for the Unit TARE app. Specifically, I'd like to sort of get a little bit technical today and talk about the scale. So the Unit TARE app works in conjunction with the scale, which is CAS SW-20, in the sense that you weigh items on the scale, and then the Unit TARE app helps you remove the weight of the container from whatever it is that you're weighing. So in that regard, it is similar in function. Not that it's similar in function, but it works together with the scale, right? So the reason why I kind of mentioned that is because I want to kind of get in, sort of talk a little bit about the formats here. So for example, this scale right now is configured to weigh pounds, right? So you can see LB right there. And then I can change that. I can change the units to ounces, right? So now it says OZ. And then I can change the units to grams, right? That's gram. And so you can see that, and these are kilograms, right? Let's see. And now we're back to pounds. And you can see that every time I switch the unit of measure, the format or the masking, however you want to call it, also changes. But the scale has a very certain specific format or masking, if you will. What do I mean by that? You know, when we're working in pounds, it is 0.00, right? So a digit, point, digit, digit. So 2 decimal points after the point. And, you know, if we go into the pounds, put a glass, right? So there it is, pound 57. So there are 2 decimal points. Why am I trying to draw attention to the fact that there are 2 decimal points? And let me show you. 1 second. Let's do this. All right, there it is. We are locked in. Let me just focus in on this screen. And the reason why it's important to point out that there are certain masking. So here we are, we're in a Unit TARE app, and we're setting up the in-store containers, right? And when you're setting up a container, you know, the name, that's fine, whatever that may be. Then it's going to ask you, what is the unit of measure? And that's important because the reason why we need to match unit of measure is because for the whole thing to work, everything has to be the same unit of measure, right? So we just showed you that my scale is on pounds, so we're going to choose pounds here. And when we choose pounds, the mask that we're following is exactly identical to the mask that's available on the scale. Let me show you. Right, so, you know, 0 point digit digit, 0 point digit digit, right? So there it is. 0 point digit digit. And if you were to switch this to ounces, right? Ounces are the same way, it appears. Ounces are digit, digit. So there's only one, no, it's not the same way, it's different. It's only 1 digit after the decimal. Everything else is before the decimal, right? And so it's basically digit dot digit, no second decimal in ounces. And let's see how that does it in the scale. And I'm gonna switch this to ounces, and it's exactly the same way, right? Digit dot digit, and everything goes in before the period. You see, and so that's what we match. You know, when we put together this app, every one of these unit of measures, kilogram. See how this one is digit, and then there's 3 decimal points. Oh, I'm showing you what you can't see. Hold on. There it is. 3 decimal points for kilograms or grams. Gram has no decimal points. And so 3 decimal points for kilograms and no decimal points for grams. Here are grams, no decimal points. And here are kilograms. There are 3 decimal positions after the period. And so, as you can see, what we're doing with the Unit TARE and the Container TARE app is basically in line with what the scale is capable of. And it is also important to note that for the scale to be triggered during the checkout, you want to make sure that you're setting up your items in the inventory. Let me grab this chicken cutlet here and see how this item is per unit, right? Let me kind of zoom in on this a little bit. This is important. All right, so there it is. Item is per unit, and the unit of measure is LB. This right here, like if I were to put this, like right now my scale is configured as kilograms, and this item is configured as LB, right? And so this isn't gonna work. So if I look for my chicken cutlet, there it is. Oh, my scale is not even connected to the computer, to the Clover device. But nonetheless, the point that I'm trying to make is that if there is a mismatch on the unit of measure in the scale and on the Clover inventory app, this trigger of the scale isn't going to work correctly either. So the unit of measure has to match everywhere, and between Unit TARE app and the scale, the masking of the weight matches the masking capabilities of the scale. Hope that makes sense. Thanks.